We had to plan a new product launch into the ready to. We had to plan a.
Hello, everyone. So welcome back to another session, and we are going to talk about TCS NQT verbal ability today. Please let me know before we start off the session that I am clearly audible, visible, and my streams visible to all of you. And then we are going to start off with the session. So everyone who's joined us today, I hope that you had joined the session that we had yesterday for the aptitude. Today we are going to have a verbal, and then we are also going to have a reasoning and coding as well. So stay tuned until we complete the entire marathon for TCS NQT. All right, so this particular sessions are going to help you out to sort out your TCS NQT preparations. So make sure that you are there and you also bring your friends together, sit together and start off with the session. Right. So before we're starting off, I would let you know that please sit with a simple notepad and a pen so that you can solve along with me and we can have a direct conversation and solve questions together. That's going to make our learning fun. Okay, so I'm audible and visible. That's a heads up from all of you. Let's begin with the session now. So TCS NQT 2024 right now, what pattern we know is it's going to have let's say around 25 questions. All right. And the time is going to be 75 minutes. All right. So this is what the analysis is based on the previous year pattern. We are hoping that they continue the same pattern for this year as well. But if they don't, it's not going to be a big difference if they are only going to, trade the numbers between 24, 25. That's going to be the optimum number. So you don't have to worry about that. Also, TCS loves to play with the topics, especially in the verbal section. We've seen that the last year they had given a lot of idioms and phrases. The previous year they had lots of formal informal sentences, which they completely skipped in the previous year. So we are hoping that they don't skip on to a newer topic this time, for which we're not already prepared, but for which we are going to be prepared is going to be the question that we are going to discuss today. So make sure you are on this journey with us, and let's start off with the session here. So if you want to get a Prepinsta Prime, subscribe to Prepinsta Prime for this placement season, you are going to get 10 plus 5, but that is 15% off using the coupon code TCS. So make sure that you are availing this opportunity and getting prepared for TCS and any other company that's going to hire you in this particular placement season. Let's begin with the number of questions here. So I would want all of you to have a notepad and a pen along with you and a timer. So we are going to work on that. We are going to set 10-15 seconds of timer before we start off with the solution. So that's the first question right in front of you. Let's begin with the solutions here. Okay, so the question says, select the option that can be used as a one-word substitute for the given group of words. Right, so we have, let's say, a contextual vocabulary or a synonym, antonym, meaning kind of a question here, and TCS has loved it the last time. So it has given a number of questions based on this. So we are going to take a look at the sentence here. What does it say? A group of spoiled girls from high school arrived at Rima's party. All right. And the underlined word over here is a group of spoiled girls from high school. All right. That's going to be your keyword. Now, I want the answers from you within the 5-10 seconds, next 5-10 seconds, and then we are going to start off with the discussions. The words are right in front of you. So please go ahead, try to solve this question. Okay, let's begin with the explanation here. Now, we have 4 options, that is entourage, snob, pose, and regalia. So we are not going to go very deep into the meanings. Entourage over here means a group of people who work for a person. All right. So a group of people please ignore my handwriting over here, who work for a person together. All right. Snob, now snob here means someone who tries to make others feel inferior or feels superior to the others, right? So let's say demeaning, we can say. someone who is very demeaning, someone who tries to put others down. Then we have the word pose. All right. Can someone tell me what is the meaning of pose here? Pose here means a group of people who work towards a common goal. All right. So, or a common occupation. Let's say we are corporate employees. So all of us together will be known as pose. All right. And regalia here is something that relates to royalty, or something that relates to or resembles loyalty or monarchy. All right. So we can just write over here royalty. And pose means common occupation. All right. So that is what these 4 words mean. Now, a group of spoiled girls from high school. Out of all of the 4 options, the only word that matches our description is the word snob, which means option B over here becomes the correct answer. All right, entourage, snob, pose, regalia. Now, how is this question helping us? It is not just giving us a meaning of 1 word, but 3 more words. So increasing our vocabulary, right? So that is the best way of how you can prepare for TCS NQT is by increasing your knowledge in verbal, increasing and enhancing your knowledge, right? And that is what is going to help us. This session is going to help us doing that. All right. Moving forward with the next question. I hope that all of you understood the previous question. If not, let us know in the comment section. Our team will connect with you and help you out. If not, you can finish up this session and then again go back and revisit the questions, whichever you did not understand. All right. Again, I hope that you are sitting with a pen and paper and solving it along with me. I would want you to do that. All right. That is going to help us in getting our preparation sorted for TCS. Now, select the most appropriate meaning of the underlying idiom in the following sentence. Now, like I told you, TCS last year went crazy, went haywired with idioms and phrases questions, and that was completely unexpected from TCS. I mean, they had questions like these, underlined meaning. They had questions in the form of close test. They had questions in the form of fill in the blanks and whatnot. So idioms and phrases had been the most asked question in TCS last year. I hope they don't do this time as well. Let's see. The financial year closing has all of us snowed under. All right. So the word here is snowed under. I'm sorry. Okay. The word here is snowed under. So let's understand the context. Now it is not necessary that you know the meaning of every idiom under the sky, right? It's not important. So what is important is you know the context. You understand the context and then answer the questions. And I'm liking that all of you are engaging and answering the questions. That is great. So please keep it up and work along with me. All right. Okay. Let's move forward. The financial year closing has all of us snowed under. Now, snowed under is not in literal terms snowing. So we are going to remove the term feeling cold. That is not what it means. Or clueless again is completely incorrect because the financial year closing does not get people clueless, or rather than depressed. Again, here it means that the financial year closing had kept the people busy. So they had a lot of work to do and that kept them busy. All right. So the term over here means busy because the year was closing. They had to get all of their finances in place, match the numbers, and so that kept them busy, right? So snowed under means busy, which means option A becomes a correct answer. Anyone who has answered C, depressed, as the answer, that is incorrect. Why is depressed incorrect? Because we are relating here with the tasks. We are not relating the idiom here with the mental state. All right, we're relating it with the tasks, and that is what is keeping them busy. All right. So the financial year closing has all of us busy. All right. That's the answer for this particular question. Let's move forward. Okay. Again, I hope you got it when I said that TCS went haywired with idioms and phrases, because we have another question that talks about idioms and phrases in the form of a close test, or you may say fill in the blank. All right. So we have a complete passage and we have only 4 idioms before us. All right. And you have to first, so there are 2 things that you have to do in this particular question. The first is you have to know the meaning of each of these idioms given to us or phrases given to us. And second is arrange those phrases in a way that they sit rightly with the passage that is given to us. All right. Two things in just, let's say, 30 to 40 seconds max. You cannot give it more than, more than a minute to this question. I would not suggest you to do that, right? So what we have to do is let's first understand the meaning of each of these idioms, right? So the first word says, face the music. Excuse me. I'm sorry. So face the music. When someone says face the music, what do you mean? That means you need to face the beat, or you need to face the world, or in a simpler sense, you need to face the consequences, and those consequences are not always pleasant. All right. So this term right over here means face the consequences. All right. This is what the first term means. Let's understand the second term, batten down the hatches. This means prepare for a difficulty. Batten down the hatches means to get yourself ready. To batten down, that means to put down the hatches. Hatches means obstacles, the difficulties. All right, to batten down the hatches means to prepare yourself for a difficulty. So let's quickly write it here over here. Prepare for difficulty. All right. Next, we have comeuppance. What do you understand by the term comeuppance? Comeuppance over here, the phrase or the idiom here means to get punished. All right. We can use the term punished or punishment or your fate, your fatal fate, right? And then we have even the score. Now, this is a very common idiom or a phrase that we generally use. When you say, let's even the phrase, let's even the score, what do you mean? That you want to take revenge, or you want to, even out the chances with your enemy, or with your friend, or with a competitor, or with your opponent. So that is what is meant by even the score. All right. So that means to get enough points. Let's write to get enough points. All right. So we have the meaning of the four words here. Let's read the passage here. My boss was caught red-handed while engaging in fraudulent activities, and it's time for him to dash for the upcoming inquisitions by the board members. Now here, the people are saying that he needs to do what? He needs to dash for the upcoming inquisition. That means there's going to be a question session with the boss. So the person needs to prepare for the inquisition, right? That means prepare for the difficulty, which means idiom 2 comes first. So we are going to write the answer here. 2 comes first. Let's move towards the options. Now we have a straight elimination technique over here. What is that? Since we have deciphered the first idiom, that is number 2, so we can remove option B and option C from the statement here, right? So we have only A and D remaining. Now we have 4, which is even the score, and we have 1, which is face the music. So let's quickly read the passage and understand whether 1 comes first or whether 4 comes first. In the past, let's start from here. In the past, he has taken credit for my presentations, and now, unbeknown to him, I am going to quietly in the next board meeting. I'm going to do what? I'm going to even the score, right? That means because my boss had done something wrong the last time, I am going to do the same thing to him this time. So I'm going to even the score out. So I'm going to get what he did to me, I'm going to get back at him, right? So I'm going to even the score, which means that we are going to get 4 in the next place. So ultimately, we can eliminate option D from here, and we have option A as the correct answer, which is 2, 4, 1, 3. All right, let's quickly place all of the idioms and phrases in their places, and let's quickly read the entire passage and understand the meaning. My boss was caught red-handed while engaging in fraudulent activities, and it's time for him to batten down the hatches for the upcoming inquisitions by the board members. In the past, He has taken credit for my presentations, and now, unbeknown to him, I'm going to quietly even the score in the next board meeting. There is no chance of him escaping the truth, and he will have to face the music. That means face the consequences. It's time that he gets his comeuppance, or it's time that he gets his punishment, right? So we have all of it in the place, and we have 2, 4, 1, 3, which is batten down the hatches, even the score, face the music, and comeuppance in its proper place, right? So that is how we are going to solve this question. Understand the meaning of the idioms, place them properly in the passage, read the context, understand the context, place it properly, and then understand the sequence or the chronology. All right. So I hope you are sitting with a pen and paper, because these kind of questions are very difficult to solve without a pen and paper or just simply verbally. They need proper explanations. So that's it. Let's move forward with the next question. I hope you guys are doing it with me, along with me, or solving it along with me. And if you have any query, please do let us know. All right. We are going to help you out. Okay. Let's move forward with the next question here. All right. For the 4-sentence paragraph below, sentences S1 and S4 are given. From P, Q, R, and S, select the appropriate sentence that can fit S2 and S3 respectively. Okay. So we have the next question right in front of us. It's a simple, plain passage ordering question where we need 2 sentences, that is sentence 2 and sentence 3 for us. The easiest thing that TCS has done for us is they have given S1 and S4. So it becomes easy, because let me tell you, and I'm going to tell this straightforward, that choosing out an opening and a closing sentence is the most difficult when you're ordering a passage. If you have the opening and the closing sentence, the connecting sentences are comparatively easier to arrange than the opening and the closing. So the half of the work is done. We have to do the remaining half. So let's see the question here. It says, just last week, the Victorian Court of Appeal significantly reduced the sentence given to Aiken Gore, a mother of 3 children who killed 3 of her children. And the last sentence says, surveys have shown that almost half of Australian prison entrants report being affected by a mental disorder. So the first sentence talks about Victorian Court of Appeal reducing the sentence. And the last sentence talks about a survey that has half of Australian prison affected by a mental disorder. All right, so we have 2 very different contexts over here. So we have to choose 2 sentences that are going to connect these 2 sentences with each other. Now, for this particular question, we don't have any options. What you have to do is you have to go through all of the sentences given before you and place them accordingly. And you will be given a fill in the blank. All right, an FUB, and you have to write your answer here. So TCS has done that as well, right? They are not giving options. They're directly giving you an FUB, and you have to fill your answer over here without any options. And so it's completely on your credit as to what understanding you have. So let's see. Just last week, the Victorian Court of Appeal significantly reduced the sentence given to Aiken Gore, a mother of 3 children who killed 3 of her children. So we're going to talk about the Victorian Court of Appeal, reduced sentence, and Aiken Gore. Let's see the sentences here. With that in mind, how are mental health issues taken into account? This sentence has nothing to do with the first sentence. So we're going to remove this completely. The main reason for the 8.5-year sentence reduction was that the judge had not sufficiently taken Gore's major depression into account. So here we see that the sentence reduction has been talked about. So we can directly put sentence Q over here because it directly connects with the previous sentence with S1. All right. The next, it is common for offenders to have mental health problems. Each of these principles is mitigating. Now, each of these principles, we don't have any principles previously stated. So we cannot use this particular pronoun, right? The pronoun these is not fitting over here because we don't have any like previous mention of the principles. So sentence S also goes out of context. That means we have sentence R next, right? It is common for offenders to have mental health problems, and then we are talking about the survey where half of the Australian prison entrants are affected by a mental disorder. So that is going to be your order. First, we talk about the Victorian Court of Appeal reducing the sentence. Then we talk about the number of years that has been reduced. Then we talk about the reason of the reduction, and then finally the SERP. So we have Q and R as the arrangement. All right. That's the way you are going to solve these kind of questions, by using an elimination technique and understanding relating the closing sentence and the opening sentence with the remaining two connecting sentences. All right. I hope all of you have answered this question. If not, if there's any confusion, I am right here to help you out with any of your doubts. So make sure that you're putting your doubts below in the comment section and we can help you out with that. Okay, let's move forward. All right. So here comes a quick reminder for you guys that if you are not connected with us in any of your Instagram, on any of our social media handles, make sure that you are connected with us so that you get all of the latest updates regarding the drives on Instagram. You can connect with us on WhatsApp so that you do not miss any link of drives. On Discord, we have personal sessions with the students. Students have direct interactions with us. So that's going to be a quick and a crazy connection platform for all of the students and the mentors from Prep Insta. So make sure that you're connecting with us on Discord as well. And LinkedIn as well. You can follow me on Janvi Jain 98 on LinkedIn as well, and Prep Insta, so that you are connected with us in every social media platform and get the most out of what we are posting on our social media handles. All right. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, because we're going to come live very often during this placement season and get you prepared for your company placements. So make sure that you're not forgetting to follow us on any of our social media handles. We will be glad to help you out in your placement journey this year. Okay. Moving forward, again, quickly reminding you that we are offering an additional 15% off by using the coupon code TCS. The link of everything will be in the description. So make sure that you check out the description box and go towards the Prep Insta Prime and get your subscription right now so that you get placed in this placement season. Use the coupon code TCS to help yourself out with the subscription. All right. Okay, that was all. Let's come back to our questions. Okay. So in the following passage, some words have been deleted. Read the passage carefully and select the most appropriate option to fill in each blank. Okay, so this is a plain and simple fill in the blank question, a closed test question, like any other. All right, so quickly complete this and let me know the answer. It's going to be a little complicated because this question is a little tad bit confusing with the words. Okay, shall we start off with a question here? The idea of pluralism is entrenched in the Indian Constitution. The value is dash in many of its provisions and parts. However, the changed dash of political discourse and narrative has put it on the back burner. A monolithic cultural account has been dashed to catch people's immigration in order dash objections. Now, let me tell you the easiest way to answer this question in just 5 seconds. Should I tell you that? Is there something wrong with my audio, guys? Can you let me know? Is there something wrong with my audio? Just give me a moment. Just give me a moment here. Okay. Okay, there's no major issue. We can continue with the session here. All clear. Okay. Thank you. Thank you that you are there with us. All right. So the easiest way to answer this question, there was I. Just read the last sentence. Just read the last sentence along with me. To catch people's immigration in order dash objections. Now, if you know the grammatical rules, you are going to answer this question in a click. And that is, whenever we use in order, we always use to dash. We always use this infinitive verb with in order to do something, right? And then this infinitive verb is followed by the first form of verb or V1. All right, that's the easiest thing to understand. And the easiest way to answer this is to win. So we have D in the last option, and the only option that has D in the fourth place is option A. That's the easiest way to do this. And I just got it right. To catch people's immigration in order to win objections, right? So to win, that is D in the last place, and we have D in the last place here. So it makes the easiest way to answer this, it makes option A as the correct answer. Now, what you can do is you can reverse check your question. What you can do here is just go back, right? So idea of pluralism is entrenched in the Indian Constitution. The value is dash. So we have B, that is the value is expressed in many of its provisions and parts. However, the changed dash. So we have A, the changed milieu. Now, what does the term milieu mean? Can anyone tell me in the comment section what does the term milieu mean? If anyone can, I'll be glad. It's a social working environment. It's a social environment where you live or where you work, or it's a social environment, like interaction with the people, where there are many people and you are socially connected to each other in the form of stays or in the form of work or any other form. That's a milieu, all right? So, however, the changed milieu of political discourse, that means the changed environment or the changed surrounding of political discourse and narrative has put it on the back burner. A monolithic cultural account has been dashed. It says D has been devised. Devised means to create, to catch people's immigration in order to win objections, right? So we have DADD as the correct answer. All right. Another way to answer the question is to read the questions and the context, put the words together. That's another way that you can solve this particular question, right? So you just have to pick up one word from the options which you think can give you the hint. Or again, you can go forward with option elimination, right? So let's say that you had guessed this answer. That means this is going to be B, and none other options have B in the first place. So you can directly eliminate the remaining options and option A becomes your answer. So there are different ways that you can answer a particular question. You just have to pick out that one particular link that is going to help you create the answer within just few seconds. All right. So that's it. Let's move to the next question. I hope this question helped you out to refine your knowledge. Okay. Moving forward, we have another fill in the blank. Now, this is more grammatically based subject-verb agreement. I'm giving you the hint. It's a subject-verb agreement. So please go forward, answer the question, and then I'm going to follow you with the answer. If you have your friends, make sure that they join the session too. All right, you can use the coupon code TCS to get your added additional 15% off on the Prepinster Prime subscription. All right, so we are going to quickly take a look at Prepinster Prime as well. So let's do that over here. Why don't we do that? Okay, so if you are preparing for TCS NQT, Prepinster Prime is going to be the best place for you, not just because we work at it, because we genuinely feel that it's going to help you out, because we have just launched our entire full stack courses, starting from web dev, full stack frontend, HTML, Node.js, and so on and so forth. Okay, and then we also have popular languages, which is going to help you out to enhance your coding journey. All right, if you are, let's say, learning in C, if you want to upgrade yourself, you can go to C++, Java, and Python. If that's not enough, you also have the entire structure talking about the popular coding course. All right, so if you think that you have a good knowledge in the basics of coding, you can enhance the knowledge by getting into intermediate coding. And once you have crossed that path, you can move towards competitive coding as well. So it's just one place where you can just climb up the ladder and enhance your studies, your knowledge, and your skills in coding and so much more. right? Then we also have the aptitude part as well, which talks about the quant, logical, verbal, DI, visual reasoning, and so on and so forth. It's never ending. All right. And if you want to prepare for the verbal section, particularly, you can come inside this course and you can see how the process, how the course is properly structured from the basics till the advances. Same goes with all of the other courses as well. We are going to get back to prep and stuff prime again, but before that, let's start off with a question here. And we also have a lot of answers in the comment below. Let's quickly see if your answer is correct or not. Do you want to check that out? Let's see. We all want to be successful, but we dash one another about what this means or how we should achieve it. All right, so let's start off with the first blank here. We all want to be successful, but we dash one another. Now the subject here is we. Now what is we? What kind of a subject is we? It's a plural subject, right? And according to the rules, with a plural subject, we always use a plural verb. All right. Okay. So as you see the questions here, don't, and doesn't. Now we can move towards the option elimination, right? The first thing that you need to understand is we need a plural verb to satisfy this particular subject. All right. Now here doesn't is a singular verb. That means option D instantly eliminated. Next, we move towards the remaining options. So A, B, and C, which talks about don't. But again, we need to understand whenever we are using a plural verb, we need a following plural verb. All right, the auxiliary verb, the helping verb is followed by a basic verb. So don't always agrees or don't always agree. Now here agree is a plural verb and agrees is a singular verb. So we don't want a singularity in this particular sentence. So we are going to remove option A from here as well, right? So we have B and C remaining with us. Don't always agree with and don't always agree to. The other thing that you can do is understand that agree can go with and to. So agree can go with the preposition with and to. But these two have different usage, all right? With is used with a group of people and to is used with a direct pronoun, right? I don't agree to you, but I don't agree with them, all right? So there's a difference in the usage. I don't agree to your idea. When you're talking to direct in a active form, I don't agree to your point and I don't agree with you, all right? So there's a difference, right? So don't always agree with one another. When you're talking about a connection between people, we use with. All right. About what this means or how we should achieve it. Office politics dash personality and opinion become difficult to manage. So office politics arise. Now, because we're talking about this over here, all right, since we're talking about this over here, let me take a different colored pen. That's going to be easy for you. Since we're talking about this over here, all right, THIS, we cannot use those. We have to use these. There's a direct relation between the pronouns. You cannot use those because we have used this over here, right? That means we have to use arise when these differences of personality and opinion become difficult to manage, which makes option B as the correct answer. So we all want to be successful, but we don't always agree with one another about what this means or how we should achieve it. Office politics arise when these differences of personality and opinion become difficult to manage. All right. I hope it is clear to you now why A, B, C, and D, B is the correct answer, right? Okay. Let's move forward with the question here. All right. So we have another grammatical question, but it mostly talks about a phrasal question. All right. The sentence contains 4 underlined phrases. 3 of these phrases are correctly used and 1 has been incorrectly used. Select the phrase which best replaces the incorrect phrase in the sentence. Secularism is the need for the hour for uplifting the nation from the abyss of religious myths and beliefs, waging a united war against the poison of communalism and other social evils. right in front of you, answer the question, and then we are going to discuss it. The link for Prepminster Prime is right there in the description below. If you want any other update, all of the links for the social media handles are there in the description below. So make sure that you click on the link and go and connect with us on social media handles so that you don't miss out any opportunity or any chance of getting placed in your dream companies and being connected with us as well. All right. So secularism is the need for the hour. Let me quickly just change. Is the need for the hour for uplifting the nation from the abyss of religious myths. Now let's see. Need of the hour and abyss in, across the, also to wage. Let's go reverse. Let's reverse our chances here. Also to wage, waging a united war. Now, because we are talking about a continuous action that has been continuing from the past and is still continuing in the present, we are not going to use a present form of verb, but we are going to use a continuous form of verb. So using waging is completely correct over here. So option D eliminated. Now, across the, whenever you are waging a war or summoning a war against something, we don't summon a war across something. We summon a war against something. That means you are against the other person. You're fighting against a cause, right? So against the use is completely correct. That means option C is also eliminated, right? So we have these two options eliminated. And abyss in religious myths and beliefs. Now, what does the term abyss mean? Can anyone tell me in the comment section? Can anyone tell me the meaning of the word abyss? An abyss means a deep space or a gap of something. All right, and unending space of something. So the abyss is an unending deep space of social myths and beliefs. So whenever you're using the term abyss, it's not an abyss in something, but an abyss of something. So it's relating to something, not inside something, not constituting in it, but it is relating to something. So an is incorrect, and we use the first word, that is need of the hour and not need for the hour. Need of the hour means need to be done now. It is something that needs to be done now, right? The needed action, plan of action. So secularism is a need of the hour, not need for the hour. That means option A over here becomes the correct answer. All right. Thank you, Yogesh, for I think you have given the meaning of the term abyss. It means deep. Yes, it means a deep space of something, a hollow or hollow space. All right. Okay. Moving forward. So we have another question that talks about sentence arrangement over here. And again, it does not have any option whatsoever. So we have to arrange it according to our understanding and see if or not that option or that answer stands correct in the assessments. All right. The question is right before you. Please try to solve this question. I'm going to give you 20 seconds over here just to read out the question, and then we are going to start off with the answers. Until then, let me just quickly remind you that you can use the coupon code TCS, follow us on social media handles. You can also follow me on LinkedIn, Janvi Jain 98. And I'm readily available over there. If you have any query, you can connect with us. Also, the comment section is only for the subscribers of YouTube channel. So if you're not a subscriber, you will not be able to comment. So make sure that you subscribe our YouTube channel and you will be eligible to, and you'll be able to comment on this particular chat because it is only for the subscribed members. So if you're here and if you're not a subscriber yet, please connect. And it's going to take you just a second to click on the subscribe button, and it's going to help you out in your preparation journey as well. So that's a win-win situation for you on both the ends. Okay. Let's start off with this question here. As in the visual realm, a second picture is not necessary to explain what a first picture means. Now, we already have the mention of second over here. That means it's not the first sentence, because a first sentence always uses a noun, specifically a proper noun. Now, let's quickly scan the 5 sentences and see where there is a proper noun. There is in sentence D and E, right? But sentence E has the first proper noun mentioned. And this passage is talking about Wittgenstein All right, I hope that's the name. Wittgenstein. Wittgenstein. Okay. Wittgenstein developed a philosophy that was deeply embedded in the word. Now, this particular sentence talks about two nouns. First is a proper noun, and this is a common noun. All right. Wittgenstein developed a philosophy that was deeply embedded in the world, not in idealized realms of thought like a rational idealist, but in how we talk about the world. So we have E as the first sentence. Next, again, we have another mention of the proper noun in sentence D. So what Wittgenstein understood is that you can't use words to explain representation because words are representations themselves, right? So we have D coming up next. And in this particular sentence, we have used the term words, all right? So the next sentence should connect our paragraph with words, the term words, and that is rightly mentioned in sentence C. Rather than coming up with a theory about how words and facts represent reality, which is crucial to both realists and anti-realists, he determined that representation is irrelevant. Why? Because words are representations themselves. So you cannot use words. Instead, words are themselves representation. So representation is completely irrelevant. Next comes C. Then we have no one needs to say what facts and objects represent, as they are simply there, embedded in our picture of reality, so as to say what they represent is actually nonsense or absurd. Now, after talking about representation is irrelevant, we then talk about the facts and objects. All right. So we have B next. And then finally we have E. So it's a completely reverse chronology. So we have E, D, C, D, A as the correct answer. As in the visual realm, a second picture is not necessary to explain what the first picture means if it were otherwise. So this picture is talking about the objects and facts over here. This philosophy is talking about what Wittgenstein understood. And instead of that, he came up with he did not come up with a theory, but he came up with representations. All right. So we have E, D, C, D, A as the correct answer. I know that a lot of you must have queries in this particular question. Now, the only way out is understanding the context, knowing your grammatical rules. Now, knowing the grammatical rules for sentence ordering is very complicated because you need to understand the parts of speech. You need to understand subject verb agreement. All right. Then you need to understand sentence ordering rule, that is the closing sentence and the opening sentence and whatnot. If you want to know all of the rules and practice all of it in the proper way, you can come onto a verbal section course and know all the rules there. All right, let's move forward. Again, quickly reminding you, if you're not following us on our social media handles, do connect us so that you get placed in your dream company and we become an important part, an integral part of your placement journey. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel because the commenters is only available to subscribe to the subscribers. And if you're not one, it's going to take you just a minute, just a second to click on the subscribe button and subscribe to our channel as well, so that you get access to all the live sessions that we are going to come live on during this placement season. All right. Also, you can use the coupon code TCS to get additional 15% off. And the price is going to increase as soon as TCS announces, which is going to be, let's say, within a week or two. Also, if you have any query, the numbers right over here, 844-844-0710, and you can connect with us, our mentors, and you will be getting a proper guidance on how to prepare for your placement journey. All right, that's it. Let's move forward with another question. Choose a sentence in which the underlying idiom has been used appropriately. So we have the similar idiom in all the 4 sentences. All right. And you have to see which idiom has been used in the best way. So old Mrs. Jha kicked at the bucket years ago, but her old classmates got to know of it only at another friend's funeral. Mom thinks that the old grandfather clock has kicked the bucket. It hasn't been working for a few months, I'm sorry. Ah Chung, a San Francisco murderer, has literally kicked the bucket. Some of the fish in my son's aquarium kicked into the buckets when we went on a vacation. All right. So before that, let's understand the meaning of this particular idiom. All right. Kicked at the bucket means to die. It literally means to die. All right. And in the following sentences, it has been used in different contexts, but you have to understand that in which context is rightly used, right? So it's very easy to understand because this particular term, to die, has a direct relation with the word mentioned in the sentence below, in the sentences above. All right, there's one word, and that word is funeral. To die means to have a funeral, right? That's the easiest way to understand, isn't it? So it talks about old Mrs. Jha kicked at the bucket years ago, but her old classmates got to know of it only at another friend's funeral. That means that Mrs. Jha had died or had passed away years ago, but her old classmate got to know about her death, got the news of her death at another friend's funeral, right? Mom thinks that the old grandfather clock has kicked the bucket. Now the clock cannot die. The clock can stop working, but the clock cannot die. So this context is completely out, completely wrong. Archung, a San Francisco murderer, has literally kicked the bucket. Now, literally kicked the bucket. If he's a murderer, he's going to kill people and not die himself. Like he can die himself, but here we're talking about a murderer. So we're talking about murdering more people and not dying himself. So again, out of context. Some of the fish in my son's aquarium kicked the buckets when we went on a vacation. Now, this sentence can also be relevant that the fishes died. But to be in a very literal term, we have sentence A as the correct answer. All right, because it talks about funeral, it talks about how the old friend got to know about the other friend's death in some other friend's funeral. All right, so option A over here becomes the correct answer. All right. Righty right, let's move forward with the questions here. Lastly, we have reading comprehension right before you. Now let me tell you, TCS doesn't know. TCS doesn't know whether they want to go with an easy reading comprehension or they want to go completely with an expert level comprehension. This comprehension that we're going to talk about is an expert level comprehension. So it's going to take you a little time to understand the context and the options, analyze them, and then answer it. It's not going to be very easy. So I have presented so this passage is very long, but I have taken just a snippet of it, a part of the passage, and I have the questions relating to this part only, right? So we're going to read the passage right over here. It's right before you, and then we'll move towards the questions. All right. So you can just take, I'm going to give you 20 seconds here to read the passage. Take your time. That is why I asked you to get your pen and paper with you because it's going to help you out here. All right, let's move to the question. What do you infer from the following sentence? We move through the real world in a self-generated dream, responding not to reality, but to the stories we tell ourselves about what is true. So it's a very deep passage, it's a very deep philosophical passage. Let's see. What do you infer from the following sentence? We move through the real world in a self-generated dream, responding not to reality, but to the stories we tell ourselves about what is true. Let's look at the passage here. Where do you think the sentence is mentioned? Can anyone tell me? Okay. We move through the real world in a self-generated dream, responding not to reality, but to the stories we tell ourselves about what is true. Stories at best incomplete and at worst injuriously correct. Stories about what we do and don't deserve. Stories the cost of which is connection, trust, and love. So we need from here to here. Let's see the options. When we know that the world is an AI-generated bubble, we are simply virtual dolls, it is obvious that we are being directed to dream and move accordingly to the higher beings pulling the strings. Now we have a quick rhyme over here. All right. Let's have some fun. Okay. So higher beings pulling the strings. Now, in the entire passage, we don't have any mention about the AI generated bubbles. So we're going to eliminate this part from here. Our brains and thoughts are so complex that they can fool us and take us to make believe universe where we accept all our mythical hypotheses as being the gospel truth. No, we're not talking about mythology. We're not talking about gospel truths. What is a mythology or mythical creatures or mythical hypothesis? It's magical world which does not exist. We're not talking about magical worlds over here. We're talking about reality over here. Scientists have tried to understand how we think, how we feel, how we respond. Most hypotheses state that the brain cannot differentiate between reality and a dream. Again, it can differentiate, but it's the human beings who try not to live in that reality and live in denial, right? So this is going to be the correct answer. Our social conditioning is so entrenched that we are unable to sift projections from reality. That means we are so into our dreams, we are so into our world that we are living in denial and we don't want to accept the reality. And the sad truth is that we do not even understand it until it's too late. So until it's very late, we live in denial. We don't want to accept what is the real. We don't like reality checks. Nobody likes reality checks, and it's honest. So this is going to be the correct answer. And this is what it means. We move through the real world in a self-generated dream, responding not to reality, but to the stories we tell ourselves about what is true. So we tell what is true, but that's not the reality. Reality is something else, and we don't take it until it's too late. That's going to be the correct answer. Moving forward with the last question of the session. So we are going to keep the question here. Again, I'm giving you another 20 seconds, quick 20 seconds. This is the last question of the session. So let's get it done with. I hope you guys are having a great session because I am having a great time coming here and like extending my knowledge to you and helping you out in the placement journey. Okay, let's move forward with a question here. What is the connection between myriad possible casual explanations and our own fears and vulnerabilities that it does with the reality of the situation? So we have very big words over here. Don't get confused. What is the connection between myriad possible casual explanations and our own fears and vulnerabilities than it does with the reality of the situation? Let's quickly see through it. Where is the sentence? Okay. There lie myriad possible casual explanations. What does the word myriad mean? It's like magical. It's like something which is not true. It's a mirage. It's a magic. All right. And then we have, it has to do more with the fears and vulnerabilities roiling in other person. All right. With our own fears than it does with the reality of the situation. So let's move forward with the question here. What is the connection between myriad possible casual explanations and our own fears? Can anyone tell me quickly the answer? It's right in front of us. Any breakdown of communication is due to the absence of native intelligence. If both parties drop their psychological guards, they quickly recognize the vulnerabilities of the other. Do you think we're talking about breakdown of communication? No, we're talking about not facing the reality of the situations. So option A is eliminated. As we are never alone, social pressure, dogma, and received wisdom destroy the bedrock of empathy between two parties. If we're not talking about empathy, we're not talking about wisdom, we're not talking about social pressures, we are talking about not relating to the reality. Again, eliminated. Option C, the pivotal reason for misery in relationships lies in our incorrect interpretation of the real cause and reason, simply because we're opaque about our fears and weaknesses as our partner is. This is the correct answer, which talks about that our relationship miseries lies in our incorrect interpretation of the real cause. So we don't want to accept what the real cause and the real reason of a problem is. What we do is we try to hide behind our fears and weaknesses, and a partner does the same, which is why there's a rift, there's a clash, or there's disagreements, right? Our own sadness and confusion overwhelm us to a point where it blinds us to the possibilities of explanations and an amicable situation. This is not what we're talking about. We're not talking about traumas of childhood. We're talking about our fears and weaknesses and hiding behind those. So option C over here becomes the correct answer. I hope it's going to help you out. There are many more questions regarding with this particular passage. So you can come on to our website and solve all of the questions relating to this particular passage. All right. So that's the end of our session right over here. Before we end, let's quickly go on to Prepinsta Prime and see what's more for you in this placement season. And then we are going to wrap up this particular session. So if you want to prepare for service-based, product-based company or fan-based or Big Four companies, the syllabus, the course is right in front of you. The tracks are right in front of you. The roadmap is right in front of you. If you want to prepare for any company, let's say you want to prepare for Tech Mahindra, Reliance, your anything, you have the entire service-based and product-based preparation here. If you want to prepare for TCS, you can come right over here and prepare for TCS as well, right? So you don't just get one course, you get multiple courses, multiple upskilling courses for you with just one particular subscription. All right. Then we have product-based companies as well. So if you want to prepare for product-based companies, that's right in front of you. It's not just one, but multiple companies. We also have interview preparation. So that's very great that your selection journey does not end at the coding or rounds. It ends after interview. So if you want to prepare for interview, we have you covered, we got you covered, and you have the interview preparation section right over here, which is company specific. We have platform specification, and then we have projects, which is the most important thing that the interviewers look for when you're applying for product-based or a service-based company whatsoever. So projects are very important. If you want to have any knowledge about exciting project ideas, Prepinsta Prime has got you covered. Prepinsta Prime has got your back. We have built phone pay website, ping pong games, calculators, American Express data, and so much and so more, right? So everything in just one place, interview experiences as well. So this website is going to be a holy grail. It's going to be your partner in your entire placement journey, right from the start till the end, beginning from the first round, second round, third round interview, and even after that, even after you get placed, you want to upskill yourself, the latest skills are right over here in front of you. So it's not going to help you just for 3 months, 6 months, or 8 months. It's going to help you out for your lifetime if you want to be connected with us and if you want to grow in a career. So that's it for this particular session, guys. If you want, you can follow us on Prepinsta 2024 Instagram handle as well. Follow us on Discord, LinkedIn, Telegram, WhatsApp, and all other social media handles. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you get notified whenever we come up with a new live session in this placement season. That's it for this particular session. Be there tomorrow. We are going to have a logical reasoning session for you guys, and then we have coding planned up for you too. So don't forget to come back every day at 6 p.m. to begin up with the TCS preparations. Thank you. That's me wrapping up this particular session. If you have any other query, make sure that you are connecting with us on social media handles and you give us a call at the number given right in front of you. You can note down this number and give us a call. Use the coupon code TCS to get an additional 15% off on a Prepinsta Prime subscription. The links are in the bio. Go check the description. Thank you so much. That's the end of this session.